In this episode, sports car racing is back! Movie star is entering NASCAR, and some 24 hours of virtual LeMans shenanigans. Welcome to episode 165 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rao, there has been lots of drama in the virtual racing world, but we'll come back to that one because we got to talk about some real racing that happened.
Ooh, real life racing because it is back!
Yes, it is.
The Dubai 24 Hours that happened at the Dubai Autodrome happened this past weekend. And it is so good to have sports car racing back. Thank you so much.
Thank you, the Middle East, where it never snows.
Correct. It never snows, and they have a lot of money to host lots of races.
So they do.
That they do, yes. But the Dubai 24, which is, I believe, a Creventic series, the 24H series, right? That's Creventic.
Yeah.
24H, that is Creventic series, which raced Dubai. Lots of GT3 spec cars. There was TCRs. There was GT4 cars. There was Carrera Cup cars. There's all sorts of stuff.
Crossbows.
Yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. But the 24H series racing in Dubai happened this past weekend, and it was lovely to listen to because I was working, but to watch. There's the new Audi RS3 TCR car right in front of what is behind him. Is that an M4 GT4 followed by a GT3 spec 911 GT3R?
Yep.
Man.
Variety is the spice of multi-class racing.
It really is. It really is. We're looking now at, that was Dries Vanthoor, brother of Mr. Lawrence, and he was racing a BMW.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
And who's that?
Valentino Rossi.
Yep.
Wild to see.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool list of drivers that came out to this Dubai 24. But quickly run you through some of the results. And by the way, we're now looking at KTM Expo GTX. Cool looking thing.
The front hatch opens. It's a weird car.
From here, it looks like a McLaren Senna had a baby with like a 720S.
I can see it. I can see the body lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a neat car.
It is a really cool car. But starting up with the driver and team that took number 3 overall was Team WRT in a BMW M4. This was the number 46 car, and that was driven by Mr. Valentino Rossi, as well as Joel and Jalil and Hessen Martin. Then you had the Herbert Motorsport Porsche 911 GT3R taking second place with Bone, Alleman, Renauer, and Renauer, the Renauers. Mm-hmm. And then the win went to, wow, that is a KFC sponsored and a McDonald's sponsored. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. The fast food sponsorships are amazing. Then the win went to Team WRT, the number 7 car in a BMW M4 GT3, driven by all sorts of people that I can't pronounce their names. What's that? Saud Fahad Al Saud? Menhaka? Simenauer? Klingman? I know that one.
Dries Vanthoor.
And Dries. That, yes. I know Vanthoor. I know Dries. But
yes.
Whew, that's a lot of names.
That is the 7 car we're looking at there. They took the win.
Yep. The McDonald's car won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the McDonald's car. But just so glad to have this back sports car racing. Look at the start. Look at them all. Look at them all. So many different cars. There's so many things in that frame. Mercedes, Porsche, Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, McLaren. And, oh, man, there's just so many cool cars.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Getting ready for, the other big race coming up this month, right?
The Rolex 24 Daytona.
Yes, it is.
We're going to be there. I'm so excited.
Yep. It's going to be sweet.
If you're going to be there, please make sure you let us know. We would love to catch up with you.
We'll be there.
Mm-hmm. So that's my quick little recap of the results of the Dubai 24. Shall we move on?
Sure.
Okay, let's move on to some celebrity news. And I know we're talking about racing, but we're going to talk about some pop culture.
All right.
Now, I don't really know anyone that's an actor ever. Like, I'm the worst guy to go to trivia with.
I'm worse than you.
Probably not by much.
Okay.
Because anytime we're at trivia and the question's like just some famous actor, I don't know. Oh my God. But I could tell you the name of a random Porsche paint color.
You are an encyclopedia for that.
But a celebrity that I think we may have all heard of is officially starting a NASCAR career.
And who might that be?
Frankie Muniz. And when you see him, you'd know who he is.
I have definitely seen that face before.
The sitcom Malcolm in the Middle.
Gotcha.
Yes, he apparently is starting his ARCA. Well, he's trying to climb the race to NASCAR, but he's starting an ARCA.
Cool. That's neat.
Really, really neat. I've got some quotes here. Apparently, he's 37 years old, and he was doing a test session on Friday at Daytona, and he said that he wanted this his entire life.
Ooh.
Some more quotes here. I want to prove to people that, like, I'm here to take it seriously. And then he says, I'm not just here for a fluke. I'm not just here for publicity. I wanted this in my entire life. You know what I mean? I'm mad I waited 12 years after my last racing experience to get here. I want people to look at me and see me on track and go, wow, he belongs, and I'm ready to prove everyone that I do. Yes.
I like that.
I like that a lot. Apparently, Mr. Frankie Muniz has been a racing enthusiast since he was quite young, and he has apparently first started dabbling with the idea of going into professional racing since 2004.
Wow.
So apparently this isn't just like a fly-by-night. He hasn't just thought about this now. He's been thinking about it for almost 20 years.
That's cool.
That's really cool. Apparently he also did some small racing a long time ago. Long time ago. He did a pro celebrity, apparently it was the Toyota Pro Celebrity Race, which was in Long Beach, at the Long Beach Grand Prix.
Okay.
He also did Formula BMW and Champ Car.
Whoa.
I didn't know this.
Champ Car. That's
Frankie
cool.
Muniz. Now I'm rooting for you.
So he was doing road course racing at some point, and now he's trying to get into the ARCA NASCAR stuff. Neat.
Kind of cool to see, like, an actual celebrity that kind of might take this, I don't know, dare I say, kind of serious?
Okay, let's think of some other celebrities that have gone from the Hollywood era.
Me.
All right.
Patrick Dempsey.
That's the main one that I can think of.
Yep. And me. Michael Fassbender.
Yep.
Which, plug here, I've been binging the Michael Fassbender Road to LeMans series on YouTube. It's on Porsche's YouTube channel. I'm going to go ahead and say this. It is hands down the best motorsport car racing type of docu-series ever produced on any platform. I'm going to make a bold claim here. I think the free YouTube series, Michael Fassbender, Road to LeMans, which is now the end of season 4, is better than F1 Drive to Survive on Netflix.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
If you haven't watched it, you need to go watch it right now. Watch it from season 1, episode 1 until now, and it is so riveting. It is so, like, edge of your seat, properly, like, goosebumps and chills through half of this. Like, really, really, really good.
It's not just your bias of Porsche?
Not just my bias of Porsche.
All right.
And if you start reading through the comments, everyone's like, oh my God, I'm so glad I found this. This is amazing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so apparently there's a few other celebrities that have decided they want to go into racing. And Frankie Muniz is one of them.
It's actually kind of wild how much Hollywood, pop culture, and like the Drive to Survive stuff has really started to merge its way into motorsports. I know IMSA's trying to do a version of it. Basically, every series is trying to do a version of that to try to get more TV prowess alongside the racing, because it is a very entertaining thing. You just have to know what to look for and when to look for it.
Totally.
And it can be an amazing show.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Cool to see him doing that. It sounds like he has the same kind of want and drive of the likes of the Patrick Dempseys, the Michael Fassbenders, and he really does want to be into racing, which is really cool.
Yep. Super stoked for that.
Yep.
But was there any other kind of racing that happened?
There was. So we need to talk about the hot drama that happened this past weekend. Mm-hmm. I know that there was a race, a real race in Dubai, but there was also a virtual race that happened at Le Mans, of all places.
Wouldn't it have happened everywhere that people are on PCs?
The track was Le Mans.
Yes.
Okay, that's what matters. The track was Le Mans. So we had an event that Team Redline took a win of the virtual 24 hours of Le Mans. Now, let's back up and do some explaining here, because this is some education time for you. There are many games out there that you can virtually drive in, right? You can set up the wheel. You've played iRacing over at my house many times.
iRacing, Assetto Corsa, Gran Turismo, Forza. Mm-hmm. Am I missing one?
This is R Factor 2, is what we're going to talk about here today.
Like I haven't heard of that.
It's a competitor out there to the iRacings, to all the games that you just listed off, right? This is owned by a company that's called Motorsport Games. Not Motorsports, plural, just Motorsport Games. They have an exclusive license agreement with the FIA WEC to run the virtual 24 hours of Le Mans. Kind of interesting. Kind of very interesting.
Odd.
Very odd, in fact. If we take a look here, this was the driver lineup that was ready to go for this race and did race this past weekend.
What?
We're talking about
my
Max Verstappen,
God.
Roman Grosjean, Felix Rosenqvist, I can't pronounce his last name, Thomas Engel.
Drugovic?
Yeah. Jimmy Broadbent, which is another YouTube guy that's really big.
Bruno Spengler?
Yep.
Damn.
So we're all the way from top tier F1 down to like kind of pop culture YouTuber. It's all over the place. The spectrum is wild. But there's top class GT3 guys, big Nürburgring guys, like all over the place, right? Some IndyCar guys, some XF1 guys.
Wow.
There's a big driver lineup that happened. Now, let's talk about the race itself, because the race had some shenanigans happen, and this is where the drama happens. The race started off okay, but within the first couple hours, things started to go a little south. You can see the race start here, which is pretty neat. With about 4 hours completed, several key moments started to unfold. Between hour 4 and 5, there were at least 4 to 5 different cars that randomly disconnected from the race. This is not something you can have happen in a competitive event like this.
No.
This is, I believe, the final race in a championship as well for them.
Like, that happens when you're like a bunch of bros, like half drunk on 2 a.m. on a Friday night.
Yeah. So 5 to 7 vehicles disconnected. After that, there was a red flag that was thrown for an hour and a half.
For what?
For a virtual race, so that those guys could connect back and they could get the servers set up so that they could go back to racing, and everybody got their laps back and everybody was back in the spot they were supposed to be. The kind of awkward part about this is that this actual event was being broadcast on the the FIA WEC YouTube channel as if it was a real Le Mans event.
Oh.
They had a full broadcast team for 24 hours ready to broadcast this whole thing.
Okay, so side note, wonder what the ROI on that was, because they weren't working for free.
Oh, no. This is an expensive broadcast.
How much did they pay those broadcasters?
I don't know. This is a big contract deal. This is a big deal for the WEC. So, that was the first red flag. It will not be the last. We go back to green for about an hour.
That's it?
Which starts to head into the nighttime. And about an hour later, a so-called DDoS attack happens on the server. Denial of service attack. Do you know what that is?
Is that a common thing?
That is something you can do in the tech space where you say, I see this server is over here. I'm going to take an army of computers, however you get them, you can buy them, you can do whatever you want, and spam them with requests. Just as fast and as many requests as possible.
Why?
To take the server down, to overload it, right? You're trying to overload their system.
Out of dick-dastardliness.
It was done as an intentional attack to sabotage the race.
Does anyone know who did that?
Unknown yet.
Are there speculations?
It could be figured out with some trickery. I don't know any speculations yet. I'm not sure. So a DDoS attack happened, which got our second red flag, because at that point, There was a suspected security breach, and the guys on the broadcast had to say that. They said, we have a suspected security breach. We're going to reset the servers. We're going to take a red flag here. Once they got that all fixed, they went back to racing, and overnight, there were still more intermittent disconnections, problems here and there. Cars would randomly drop out. And with the few hours remaining, the main car that was in the lead, which was driven by one of Mr. Max Verstappen, the F1 champion, decided it was time for their disconnect moment, and they disconnected for 2 whole laps, which means you're not in the lead anymore. Yeah, not good at all. At that point, they came back in, they got reconnected. Once they were 2 laps down, they asked the organizers, race control, if they could get their 2 laps back, and they said, 9. No, you're not getting your laps back. But they were consistent about it because the other people who had been having these problems, they also said, there's nothing we can do. We're not giving everyone their laps back. We'll be chasing this for the whole event.
Yeah.
It's not good. So, since that happened, Mr. Max Verstappen has put out a statement on his Twitch stream. It reads like this. Honestly, it's a joke. You cannot even call this an event. A clown show. That's why we better retire the car. Oh boy.
That would be some hot drama.
Yeah. It's a very bad look for R Factor. It's a very bad look for Motorsport Games, a company that owns all of this. It's a very bad look for the FAWEC. It's just bad in general.
Here's my question. Do you think it would have been better if iRacing was the one that had the contract?
Much better.
So you think it's part of the fact that it was R Factor, not iRacing?
It's 100% R Factor, their servers, their jankiness of their game. Yes.
So this could have gone off without a hitch if this was iRacing.
It could have. There is an exclusive agreement. For some reason, the WEC likes money, so they paid a lot of money, or I'm sure Motorsport Game and R Factor paid a lot of money for this, but they really fumbled this football bad. Really bad.
Seems like it.
So we'll see what happens next year. We'll see if this agreement gets shut down by the WEC or if they give them another chance. But a lot of people have said that R Factor in general has kind of had this intermittent connection problem for a very long time. It's not the first time.
Okay, hold on a second. If they've had this intermittent connection problem, that means they've known they've had this intermittent connection problem, which means why did they even try to do this if they knew that that was even slightly a possibility?
I don't know. They've done this event in the past.
They set themselves up for failure.
I agree. I think it was a combination of the servers were not set up to the spec that they should have been, and something leaked on someone's stream to get the IP address of the server, and some people collaborated to be able to DDoS that server, and that was the downfall of this event.
Like, if I've been eating 4 pizzas a day and a box of donuts, I'm not going to say, I'm going to go run a marathon tomorrow. Like, get your shit together before you commit to some big commitment like that.
I agree. I'm with you. It's a really bad look. And you know who's sitting over there salivating right now? Forza, iRacing, Gran Turismo,
Assetto Corsa.
Assetto Corsa, all of them. They're just like, hey, Pierre Fian, call us.
Yeah, I got you, boo.
Call us. So, long story short, the number 2, which was Team Redline's car. Team Redline was the team that Max Verstappen was in. He was in the number 1 car, which won last year, the car that we're looking at here. The number 2 car was the one that took the win, and it was more or less down to the fact that they did have a random disconnection for 2 laps, and they retired the car. They said, we're not even going to try to finish.
Oh, it's not a good look. Not a good look at all.
Nope, not at all.
It's like really, really not a good look.
Kind of an odd time, too. Like, why now to run this race? LeMans not happening anytime soon. I wonder if it's
months.
Yeah, but my suspicion is it's off season,
and they're bored.
Everybody's home, right? All the racing drivers are home. Like this is the week, right? Because next week they're all at the Roar. The week after that, they're at the Rolex 24. Then after that, we're going to Bathurst. And then after that, like, things are getting into testing for F1.
And then you've got Sebring.
Right. The year just rolls after that.
Yeah.
So you really do have early January if you want to fit as much real racing drivers into a virtual event as possible.
Makes sense.
So,
Interesting.
yes.
But I suppose it is time to brief us and everyone on what is upcoming this weekend, starting essentially today when this comes out.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the Roar before the Rolex 24, and I'm so goddamn excited. Woo-hoo-hoo.
The practice before the race.
The practice before the race that also has races at the practice before the race.
It's kind of weird.
Because we have the VP Racing Sports Car Challenge, which I believe is that LMP3 and GT4 spec series.
Yep.
We've got, I believe, because that's race 1 of 2 and 2 of 2, you've got qualifying. So you've got quali for the actual Rolex. And then we've also got some of the Pilot Challenge stuff too, which is GT4 stuff.
Yep.
Yes.
The Roar is a cool event. If you happen to be in Daytona or around that area, go check it out. But you should really go to the Rolex because that's the big one.
Yeah.
I will say, when the Roar happened prior, when it was early in January, it was one of the very not well-known events to go to, but one of the cheapest and one of the easiest to get close to drivers and teams.
Yeah, because you could just get in for like $15 or $20.
Yeah, it was like $20.
Something.
Because it was a big practice session. But you could also go into the garages for free, and you could wander around every part of the track, and it was not very populated. It was very on the down low.
You and I went, I think it was the last year before they changed to that week before the Rolex thing.
Right.
Because it was like, always like like the day after, like the 3rd of January or something like that, 2 days after New Year's. And then you'd have a couple of weeks. So if you lived in Florida, you could sneak out for like early season racy stuff. And you're like, oh, yes.
Yep.
But now it's, what do you prefer?
For the teams, I prefer the way it is now. It just makes more sense. Why haul all the cars down to Florida just to test them for a week and have to haul them back up to the garage to like?
I agree. But what about for us?
No, it was way better to have the month before, go there and then go. Yeah. No. Other note, the iRacing Rolex 24 is coming up. It is actually starting the day that we release this, which will be Friday, the 20th. And I will be partaking this year.
What are you driving?
We'll be driving a Ferrari GT3 car.
You're not driving the new BMW M Hybrid V8 prototype?
You think that all the people have not flocked to that? Everyone is driving that. Every person and their mother is trying to drive that.
Does iRacing have the new Porsche LMDH in it yet?
No, the only one is the BMW. There is an LMP2, and there will be 3 classes in the event that I'm running in, which will be the GT class, the LMP2, and then the P1 or the prototype one.
Yeah, LMDH, GTP, right. Whatever they call it.
So the goal is don't die. It'll be me and 5 other drivers, and we're doing 24 hours.
Good luck. You got this.
I'm going to need it. 50 cars on the grid, by the way.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
Good luck.
See how it goes.
So you got anything else?
I do not.
All right, well, then that's going to wrap us up for episode 165. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit subscribe, drop a comment on this video. Let us know, are you going to be at the Rolex? Comment, let us know. Would love to find out. And if you're listening on audio, send us if you will be at the Rolex via social. Facebook is We Are Auto. Instagram is We Are Auto _. YouTube is We Are Auto. And our website is weareauto.io, where you can go to check out some of your favorite past races. So thanks again. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.